Well, it was probably about 5 years ago that I realized that my weight had crept up to 205 pounds, and
How tall are you for guys
I
who are
am
listening?
5'9.5".
Okay.
My weight had crept up to 205. That was probably from years of just being too busy. I had transitioned to working as a school administrator, which I spent a lot of time as a desk jockey, just not getting up, not getting out and walking, not doing the things that I love to do. I was always, as a younger man, I was always hiking. I did some running up until probably about entry to college. And I mean, I was a competitive swimmer in high school as well. I have a varsity letter in swimming, but I just, between life happening, two kids, wife, everything else, I just slacked off and wound up putting on the pounds and found myself eventually just looking at it going, there's this gut here. There's this spare tire and love handles that need to go away. And so I started trying to lose that on my own. I started trying to get more active, and I did lose some of it. But I had found myself as well with high blood pressure that was taking 3 medicines to control. And I think one of the turning points was when my doctor, I think I was on 1 or 2 medicines at the time already, and my doctor at an annual physical looked at me and said, well, your blood pressure's back up. We can either put you on another med or you can try to lose some weight. And then he just said, but nobody ever loses the weight, so here's another med. And I was like, wait a minute, this is not right. The solution is not just throw more drugs at somebody to try and control things. There's got to be something that can be done. So that was part of the turning point. And then the real turning point was about 3 years ago when I had a couple of very close friends, one of which is now the father-in-law of my son. He's a couple of years younger than me. The other friend's a couple of years older than me. Both of them had massive heart attacks within about 6 weeks' time. And I found myself going, wait a minute, that's me if I don't really turn this around. And so I tried starting to lose weight, tried starting to get back into shape. And, everything I was thinking of, less calories, a little more activity, was working, but it wasn't seeing a change in my, muscle definition, or the gut wasn't going away. It was just there, and it was hard to get rid of. So that was probably about, I had gotten down probably, I think I was at about 176, 178, somewhere in there, when I happened to be, surfing Facebook, which I do constantly, or YouTube, one of the two. And I saw this ad with this guy named Dr. Anthony in it. And I was like, okay, this is probably some fad setup, but I'll take a look at it. And I think at the time you were doing the Apex 7 and the free free meal plan. So I said, well, I'll give it a try. And I think it was December of that year, December of 2 years ago, that I gave it a try. And I was like, wait a minute, this is really working. And then, you came along with a New Year's fire sale or something. And I said, okay, I'll give it a try. I'll buy in. I think my wife was a little skeptical. She has always had problems with her weight. She's a big success story as well, though, because she's lost so much weight that she wound up having to have skin reduction surgery.
Oh, man.
Which was absolutely, she had 5 pounds of skin taken off, which was absolutely incredible. And to see the difference, and she's gone back and forth. She's a very busy as well, as like I am. She actually manages a dairy store, so she's around ice cream all the time.
Yeah, it's a dangerous game.
It's a dangerous game. I think I had my first ice cream yesterday, so in quite a while. But together we've started doing stuff and getting that going. And so when I found the program and got into it, it was like it clicked. And not only did the weight start dropping off, but I started to see things like the love handles disappear. The gut disappeared. Yeah.
I want to dial into this a little bit because what I like about your story is when you started this journey, you had general principles in mind of stuff you needed to do. You knew you needed to eat fewer calories and move your body a little bit more. And you were seeing some results because you found us and you'd lost about 20 to 30 pounds up to that point, correct?
Yes.
Down from starting around 205. And then you felt that you were kind of successful, but not where you needed to be because there was a next level clearly to the exercise component or stuff like this that you wanted to go deeper on, you find us. And we have this unique kind of exercise, these circuit workouts with great strength training motions, those metabolic resistance workouts. And you start doing these and you incorporate them into your routine. What was it like for you as a guy who was losing weight to start to do some more strategic exercise, if you will? What were those first couple weeks like? And what were the changes you saw from being from a guy who wasn't doing, let's just call it more vigorous exercise, to getting a couple of these in per week?
Well, first of all, they kicked my butt when it went from being trying out the Apex 7, which was tough enough to begin with, to kicking over to the Apex 10, the full Apex 10. Mm-hmm. It was a struggle. I was doing it all at home. I've never been a gym person, never liked going, never wanted to do anything in front of anybody else. Mm-hmm. And so I was doing them at home, and I felt like I would get done with those workouts. And of course, I'm recording them with my Apple Watch, and it's telling me my heart rate. And I'm sitting here looking at my heart rate, and I'm looking at the charts that were being given to me for where my heart rate should be for, at the time, a 55-year-old guy. And I'm looking at it going, this is not right. This is too much. But then I started seeing the results, and I said, it's working. Let's just keep at it. So I kept, doing it, kept watching the heart rate. I started to notice that the heart rate was stabilizing, that, something must be going. And I started thinking about the idea that, much like the Apex is strengthening muscle groups, the heart rate was strengthening, the heart muscle was strengthening as well. To the point that at my most recent physical, my doctor was taking my pulse and looked at me and said, that's a long time between heartbeats, my friend, because I had dropped down to like 40 beats a minute. So, that's now, I ran 10 miles yesterday, and I think my heart rate got to 138 beats a minute for a 10-mile run.